Jai Hind students. Till in satellite communication, we studied about various aspects of satellite communication, including the types of satellites, its orbits, its applications, and the orbital mechanics. We also derived the satellite link equation and the construction of a Earth station. In the same context, now we are moving towards the application of satellite communication, and the very first application of satellite communication is VSAT, very small aperture terminal. So before starting about the technical aspects of VSAT, I just want to give you a small idea. As you know that in India there are various terrains that are so remote that you cannot place individual wires or wire connection to send the data, to communicate the data to that remote location. That's why they are using satellite communication. Satellite phones are the latest example for it. But whenever we are talking about a group of users who want to use a specific service at a specific place in a bunch, then we required some specific information and specific communication system. Similarly, when we are talking about this cable connection at your home, you are watching various channels at the same time, and previously you are using a cable operator in your area who is giving you the wire line at your home to provide the cable connection, and so that you can access the various channels on the TV. But all that things are so limited because there is a physical medium between the transmitter and the receiver, and also you cannot cover the complete globe at the remote location or in the difficult terrain. So that's why a new concept of satellite communication came into picture, and that is basically about for the remote areas, or we can say that for the small users. As you are talking about that cable operator or cable services, today's scenario they are using direct to home TV system. That direct to home TV system, what you are doing, you are just creating a small earth station at your home and getting the data from the satellite directly. So in that complete picture, the main thing is coming, that is a very small aperture terminal, or we can say that a small micro earth station is going to be created at a location. So this VSAT came into that from that perspective. So VSAT stand for very small aperture terminal, and it is a two-way low cost ground micro station for transmitting data to and from communication satellite. Means this ground micro station is a miniature of large earth station. So basically VSAT has a dish antenna with the diameter between 75 centimeter to 1 meter, which means it is very small in comparison with 10 meter diameter of standard geo antennas that is used in the basic earth station. So VSAT access satellite in geosynchronous orbit or geostationary orbits, and actually data rate in VSAT ranges from 4 kilobyte per second to 16 megabyte per second. Once again, new picture is coming, that is VSAT operate in Ku band. Actually, for this communication or for the transponder, basically they are using C, Ku and Ka bands. And when you are talking about C, Ku and Ka, that is started with the C. But as soon as satellite communication evolves, that C band is overcrowded due to the 500 megahertz frequency range, and all frequency spectrum is allocated already. That's why this KU band came into the picture, and the VSAT is operating in that KU band, that lie around the 1000 megahertz. So it is point coming here that how we are going to configure this VSAT. Actually, when we want to talk about VSAT, that VSAT can be configured as two topologies, or the third one is also there, that is the hybrid one, that is the combination of these both, that is star topologies and smash topologies. Here you can see that in the star topology, what is going to happen? There is a gateway earth station and the space segment having a geo satellite, and all other VSAT stations are connected with directly satellite, and it means this has a central uplink site which transmits data from and to each VSAT through the satellite only. Means that is the main station and that is sending the data through the satellite to all one. But when we are talking about the mesh topology, in mesh topology, each VSAT transmits data via the satellite to the other station, and the above diagram shows this one is the topologies of VSAT. So here you can understand that these all are going to help you to design these both topologies, and somewhere they are also using the combination of both of them, and that is called hybrid topology for VSAT. Then VSAT uses, how you are going to utilize that I already told you. You can use it for the TV communication, for your TV communication. But other than that, VSAT is also having some uses such as ATM systems. You are using ATM at distant location, and you can see that at a ATM you are just using a power supply through the battery or the inverters with a ATM machine and some VSAT point at the roof of that ATM machine. So that is only the ATM shop or ATM center is required, and that is directly using that VSAT data to acquire the data from the bank server. So in the narrowband data, point of sale transaction using debit card or credit card or RFID data. Similarly, in broadband data, they are using internet access to remote location, also VoIP. Also, they are using the same for the wireless local loop, WLL, for mobile communication. Similarly, for the maritime communication, when your ships or planes are in the marine area. So these are the uses of VSAT. So you can see that here is we are showing the VSAT growth. That wireless local loop is the starting most example of this VSAT, in which what you are doing, there is a community earth station. That community earth station is located at that location in the city or in the dense area, that is directly in communication with the geo satellite, and that geo satellite is giving that data to the remote location by using a WLL portion. Means what you are doing, you are creating a community earth station, and that is going to apply going to give access to the various user or subscribers. So that is basically theory of behind the growth of the VSAT. Now that VSAT is basically using software part also, and to control the VSAT access, a protocol structure is there, and when this picture is coming into that, which kind of access control protocol is going to use by the VSAT, you have to understand that it is all started with the OSI and TCP/IP protocol. As you know that in TCP/IP or there are various layers, and that 7 layers are application, presentation, session, transport, network, data link and physical, in which that network layer, data link and physical layer is same in the router, that so that it can be connected between two users. So that is about the basic TCP/IP protocol, access control protocol, which is going to be used by the all communication system or the other wireless communication system. But when we are talking about the VSAT, this is the prescribed one. You can see here in this diagram, you can see that this is the VSAT network actually. In that VSAT network, there are two gateways. One is at the point where the data is going to be provided, and another one is the user terminal. So this is the user terminal and this is the gateway, in which it is hub station. Actually, hub station is sending the main data which is going to be communicated to the users, whether that VSAT point is connected with the user. So you can see that this hub station is collecting the data from the terrestrial end, and that is coming through these layers. As you all know that for organizing all the areas and organizing all the access point, these various protocols are going to help, as gateway protocol, network kernel, protocol interface and physical interface they are providing. Here you can see that this is terrestrial link, because these both links are placed on the earth, as this hub station is presented on the earth and this terrestrial link is actually giving the data to the hub station. Then this hub station is sending the satellite data to the satellite on a satellite link, means the satellite is here, satellite is here. So that data is going to satellite, and satellite data is again accessing by the VSAT and giving to the another user by using the same protocol layers. So this is the VSAT access control protocol. Then the main consideration is coming into picture. As you know that for any communication system, there is a system that you are sending the data that is going to the satellite, that is the distance. Then satellite is giving back that data to the another location, means a data is traveling distance from earth station to satellite, then satellite to user. It means in VSAT typically we are using geo satellites, and for the typical slant range of geo satellites are 39,000 km, that is starting from the 35,798 kilometers to starting point or the geo satellites. And you can see that for that range a communication will be delay of t second over such a geolink, because that is the range around 39,000 km. Velocity as equivalent to the EM wave velocity, that is 3 into 10 to the power 8, means the time taken is twice of that complete time. So that is coming here, and that is around 0.26 second, means 260 milliseconds. So every VSAT is having a delay of 260 milliseconds. So what is happening here? To maintain continuous and uninterrupted communication, it is essential for the link timing to remain within the protocol window. And also, as TCP/IP typically has a window of 60 milliseconds, if there is a gap in the transmission of information between the end user that exceeds this window, a timeout will occur and transmission ceases. As long as the window remains open, communication can continue without interruption. Means as you are sending the data and you are using 60 millisecond time block. So you can see here, this is the packet received by the user 2 and this is the packet transmitted by user 1. So you can see that A, B, C, D, that are the packets. On the time A1, that signal is giving the data to this with 10 millisecond transmission delay. So it is starting from 0 time. Here it is receiving it after 10 millisecond. Then this data pack of signal is with the 10 millisecond one-way delay. So you can see that this data is coming, then this acknowledgement of A is coming here, because data is receiving here, he is sending the acknowledgement. Again this data is going here, this acknowledgement is coming. So similarly this way thing is going on. But you can see that here delay is the 10 millisecond, but the window which is having the 60 millisecond window. So you can see here that there is no interruption between the data. Similarly, when we are talking about a 260 millisecond one-way delay and a 60 millisecond window, means data window is 60 millisecond and that is 260 millisecond. So you can again see that in that case that data is transmitting outside acknowledgement window A. So it means that is creating a interruption. So basically this is about the delay consideration of VSAT. Then VSAT multiple access protocol, again that point, because the intended application and the potential interference in environment often determine the choice between the FDMA, TDMA or CDMA for VSAT network, with economics with also playing a major role. Means what is having here, for multiple access protocols we are having different technology, FDMA, TDMA, CDMA, they all can be used for VSAT, but which one is going to be used, that is totally decided from the economical purpose. Basically when we are talking about the most efficient one, FDMA offers the lowest cost for the entry level VSAT system from the user perspective. That's why FDMA is going to be used for the major operations, and the receiver bandwidth and the terminal transmitter power as the lowest, because in that case that is the receiver bandwidth and terminal transmitted power required are lowest in the FDMA. That's why it is widely used in the small application or micro stations. Similarly, modulation and coding that are going to be used by the VSAT, that are actually in the most common form of modulation that used in VSAT, that is BPSK or QPSK. And actually spectrum efficiency is there also, and when you required a spectrum efficiency less important, means that is not playing a major role, then you are using BPSK. Means QPSK and BPSK both are going to be used, but when strictly you have to require some spectrum efficiency, you will use QPSK, otherwise BPSK. Similarly, semantics of encoding and decoding process, when an inner and outer code are applied to a telecommunication signal, then the Reed-Solomon interleaved block load is applied after the forward error correction on the encoding side. Means the reverse of the this thing is done at the decoding side. So here you can see that this is the coding scheme for the VSAT, in which input bit stream having a forward error correction encoder with the Reed-Solomon interleaver to provide the encryption. Similarly, at the receiver side, there is a de-interleaver or Reed-Solomon code and the forward error correction decoder for the that person. Means this is the outer code and this is the inner code. Means two-way coding is used for the VSAT coding purpose. Similarly, when we are talking about the VSAT earth station means you can see here, when we are talking about the VSAT earth station, that is basically, as you take an example of ATM system. At ATM, there is a block that is located in the inner part, whether a antenna is placed on the roof. That antenna part is this, and it is called outdoor unit. This outdoor unit actually having a parabolic reflector antenna that is of maximum 1 meter diameter. It is having a LNC and HPC, basically low noise converter and high power converter. They are basically going to be used. Why they are using? This is for the input part, and that is for the output part. Means when it is going to transmit the data, they are using high power this HPC, and for the input they are using the LNC. Similarly, it is the IFL. IFS is basically the link, that is the interfrequency link, and that is used for this connecting this inter-facility link. That inter-facility link is basically combining the outdoor unit and the indoor unit. So this inter-facility link is actually having the connection between outdoor and indoor unit. There is a baseband processor with the modulation and demodulation. So you can see that for the receiving part, LNC with demodulator, for the transmitting part, HPC for modulator, and after the baseband processing, you are getting the data terminal equipments. So when we are talking about the VSAT, so you can see that the low noise converter LNC take the received RF signal and after multiplication mix it down for intermediate frequency for passing over the inter-facility link to the indoor unit. So that indoor unit having actually demodulator to extract the information signal from the carrier and pass it at baseband to the baseband processor. Similarly, in the data terminal equipment then provides the application layer for the user to interact with the information input, and also they transmit the operation. The user input the data via the terminal equipment to the baseband processor. Similarly, the modulator places the information on the carrier of intermediate frequency, and this is sent via the interfacility link to the high power converter HPC. Means you can easily understand here one very clear point. This is low noise converter. This is high power converter. So you can see that this is the receiving part. This is the transmitter part, because VSAT is not only sending the data, it is also receiving the data. Means the both way communication is going on. For example, you are using a ATM machine. As soon as you are applying the ATM card into the machine, the data is generated which is going towards the bank server. That's why it is used transmitting. Then the accessing the information from the bank server, that is going to be by the receiver. So this is all about the VSAT application. Or so you can here one point understand very clearly that why this VSAT came into the picture. Main earth station that are used for the satellite communication, they are quite complex and so large, so you cannot establish a normal earth station for each users. That why for the micro users this VSAT came into the picture. So this is all about the VSAT. In the next lecture we will discuss about the next application of satellite communication, and that is DBS TV, direct broadcast satellite television. Till then, thank you.